Welcome
Hey,
back to the Growth Gathering. I'm Jolene.
I'm Shelby, and we're virtual again. Listen, whenever you watch this, we're recording this.
It's
And so the
freezing.
rest have shut everything down. So we can't
There's
be together.
Ice Mageddon. I know. We
Yes.
just need to own it. We're just virtual. So here we are. But if you are here, it tells us one thing, and that is truly that you care about your health, that you're a part of this amazing growth gathering community. And we're not just here for short-term results. We are building something that lasts. It is progress over perfection. We are here to shift and pivot whenever it doesn't go along the perfect way we want it to go. No matter what, it's not that we're starting over, it's that we're continuing into the next chapter, walking hand in hand together, building this life that is worth building. Health at the end of the day is worth it. Maybe you're in a place where you are doing all the right things. A lot of times our motivation starts high and then dwindles down halfway through the day. This series that we're starting is about this foundational conversation that we're not about perfection. We're not about pushing harder, doing more, white knuckling our way through it. We're really talking about how do you support yourself in a way that is sustainable. We're here for the longevity that health brings. We want to talk about living above the line in your health. And so when you're above the line, you're aware, you're intentional, you're taking responsibility for how you're showing up. We're not doing it with judgment or shame. That's the below the line. Shelby, will you talk about just the idea that at any point we can be above or below the line
Yeah.
in life?
I love this concept. Above and below the line is truly a concept you can apply to any area of life. But when we stop and think about it in our health, it's powerful. Basic teaching that there's this imaginary line that exists in our life at any given moment. We can stop and pause, like we've been teaching stop, challenge, choose, right? So at any given moment in your life, especially when you're trying to identify areas that you want to improve in life. And so in this space, we're talking about our health. And so at any given moment, you can stop and you can pause and you can locate yourself and you can say, where am I right now? Am I above the line, which is a place of curiosity, a place of growth, a place of healing, security, like
Creativity.
creativity? Yes, you are your most creative version of yourself when you are above the line. When you can locate yourself and say, okay, I'm below the line, it's typically a place of lack and closed offness, fear, or even like the place of shame. And
Mm.
it's the place that we do not have growth. It's where being stuck and no growth is happening below the line. And that's not that if you're living below the line, you're a bad person. Listen, at any given moment, we are all more naturally bent towards being below the line because that is just where we exist naturally. It takes actual work and skill. And that's what we're teaching today. It's a skill to learn how to shift and get yourself above the line. That's what we're talking about today. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about
I
this,
know,
this
I love
topic.
it. And here's the thing is not if you drop below the
Yes.
line, or you drop
When?
below the line. It looks like you're reacting. That's a reaction place instead of choosing, circling it back to our health. That's when we're skipping feelings. That's when we have this all or nothing. That's when, oh, well, I had a bite of that, so I might as well. That's when we say, I blew it. So what's the point? We beat ourselves up. That's the below the line. And here's the most important part. Below the line does not mean that you failed. You are not a failure. Let me say that again. You are not a
So
failure
good.
if you find yourself below the line. We need to find ourselves below the line because what it does is creates awareness. And when we're aware, we're able to raise ourselves back up above the line. This pause and asking ourselves, where am I right now? Creates this moment where we get to choose. The act of choosing, where am I and where do I want to be, is where growth begins. And I love it. So
So, yes, that it is. It's a choice and it's a skill. This is one of the biggest places where we see this play out with nutrition because no matter what our health goals look like, if you're seeking more energy or wanting to be more confident, wanting to improve your metabolic health, or you're wanting to grow in strength or improve lab work, right? Like whatever your goal is here. It's always going to come back to how are we fueling our body because nutrition is this foundational piece to everything. We get so many people that come here. I know Jouleen, especially in her line of work with having a fitness app and everything. How many people come to you, Jouleen, and are like, I just want to get more tone, so I want to work out more. And we think more is the answer, especially more movement or more restriction. And then what do you always tell them? Nutrition is like what percent?
Google might tell you 80%. I will claim 95%.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to get toned. Oh, so what are you eating?
There you go. I mean, fitness is absolutely a core habit. But I will tell you, I lost 90 pounds in 10 months without ever stepping foot in a gym and focusing on that habit because I wasn't ready for that habit yet. And I looked way more toned. People were like, dang. And all it was because I removed the fat and exposed the muscle.
Yeah.
And so we know that nutrition is a foundation to our health. Fueling our body well isn't about perfection. If this is your first podcast with us and first teaching, you will not hear us stop preaching that this is not about perfection. It's not about restriction or doing the right things all the time. It's about support. Mm-hmm. Because when we are above the line, we're choosing to fuel our body consistently and intentionally. It's a choice. And for many of us, this is a skill about learning how to shift and how to do that. And we hope that by the time we're done together with this series, you'll have some really good tangible skills and tools to make that shift. We want to train our body to trust us, and consistency is what will do that. When we can consistently make that shift above the line, that's where growth is going to happen. Fueling sounds a lot like I am learning what my body needs. I don't have that figured out yet, but I'm on my way. We talked about this in our last growth gathering together as we talked about how many clients were starting to choose things they could trust with their body and they were figuring it out. Like I really wanted something sweet. One client was talking about really wanting a hot chocolate, but her hot chocolate feeling was out and she was like, well, how can I? And that growth mindset, that ability is the shift. You know, below the line would say, oh, I'm out of hot chocolate. So screw it, right? Might as well. She did. She had some of that Swiss miss, and she could have, but she said, how can I? How can I find a way to keep fueling my body consistently? So being above the line and trying to stay there is about finding a way to be consistent. You don't have to be perfect, but you do find ways to consistently choose how you can stay on track. So we don't skip fuelings. When we skip the fuelings or ignore hunger or get stuck in shame around food, it pulls us below the line. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because our body needs care, not criticism. It's this place of choosing growth, and that's how we stay above the line.
Most of us don't struggle because we're not motivated. I was highly motivated to get home. I was miserable. I am exhausted. There was one time I did this grapefruit diet where I ate half a grapefruit like 4 times a day. I don't know what else I ate. I was motivated. If we put all of us in a room together, we did some crazy things to get our health back, right? So it's not a lack of motivation. It is a struggle because we don't have the foundation of what to return to when life gets busy or messy. When life gets messy, the grapefruit is not the answer. Motivation will come and go. Although when we're in a place that's motivated, we want to use that. But we also want to recognize that stress happens. Schedules change. Toddlers start screaming. You forget your lunch. But when we have those simple, repeatable foundation, we know what to come back to. I ask myself, how can I hydrate? How can I move? How can I have this growth mindset? You always have this way to bring yourself back up above the line, no matter what's going on down here, no matter what is trying to pull you down. The stress will come. Life will life. How can we lift ourselves above the line and start with this foundation of nutrition, of hydration, of moving our bodies, of getting some steps in? When we start here, not with intensity, it's not about, I have to get 10,000 steps and it's 8:00 at night. It is about supporting your body, building that trust, like Shelbi was talking about, building that reputation with yourself that I am someone that fuels my body, that drinks water, that moves, that stops challenge and chooses encouragement over criticism. That is you laying brick by brick the foundation of what it is that you're building your life of health upon. Because whether you're a part of this plan and you're in, like Shelbi was talking about, the metabolic stage of fat loss, or you're working towards a specific goal, your health continues after you accomplish that. You will
Yes.
accomplish that, but you
Yeah.
don't stop eating. You don't stop drinking. You don't stop moving. And so when
We never stop growing. That's the
Yes.
truth.
Yes.
When we apply this concept, you never stop growing. And how exciting is that? Right? Yeah. Sorry, keep going. That was good.
No, I love it. This is where we get to lay the foundation. We build the bricks that we stand upon. We're not building it all in one day, but it also doesn't fall apart all in one day. Your health didn't fall apart on one day completely. When we can build these foundations, we really are launching ourselves into not just this season of growth, but a lifestyle of growth.
And this is where the real shift happens, y'all. Real shift happens. That almost sounded scary. Shift happens. This is where that shift from below the line to above the line will happen, is because when you practice coming back above the line again and again, your habits stop feeling like something you have to do, and it starts becoming part of who you are. This will become your identity. So instead of, I'm trying to eat healthy, it becomes, I'm someone who fuels my body.
Just a fact.
I am someone who notices when I slip up and I reset. Quick down, quick up. This is who I am. You become this person who says, I don't quit on myself. I choose above the line. I choose growth. Like our friend who had Swiss Miss as an option isn't someone that just says, oh, this is all I had. I had no other choice. She said, I am someone who figures it out. She went and found her Optavia whey protein, her chocolate whey protein, and she figured it out. And she said, that's who I am. I am a person who figures this out. And she was so proud of herself when she came to celebrate with us. And that is just so exciting. When we start to create this identity of, this is who I am, I find ways to have success. I find ways to fuel my body well. It builds trust. And trust is what creates consistency over time. Yeah. So if you take nothing else from what we're talking about, it's this: staying above the line is not about being perfect. It's about awareness. It's about choosing support over sabotage. Every small choice counts. Every single reset, every time you choose above the line, it matters. You start building this person that you're becoming. And it's beautiful. This growth and this transition to who you are becoming is beautiful.
I love how strong it is. It's empowering, and taking that power back makes such a huge difference, because I feel like there's so often that we just give the power away. Oh, I just can't. Oh, I'm not capable. Oh, I just messed it up again. And we give this power away that really belongs to you. So I love it so much.
Jouleen, I think you could literally expound on that. How many times have we given our power away to the moment or to someone else? When we've tried to blame others or circumstances for why we can't stay on track, we've just given our power away. And the truth is, all of the power for success and accomplishing what you desire lies within you. And you are absolutely capable. Every single one of us are capable of having and becoming who we are supposed to be. He or she already lives inside of you. It's about finding it and choosing that person consistently. And the more you do it, who I am today, I can find her, who I'm becoming. I can find her faster above the line today than I could 6 years ago. 6 years ago, it took a lot of work and a lot more consistent repetition, but it just gets easier over time because you get more consistent over time. And it's not perfect. 6 years in, I can still find myself below the line and choosing this version of me that's an old, distant fragment of my memory, but I can find her faster. Because I've just had more consistency.
I love it. So this week, your challenge is to get used to asking yourself, where am I right now? This can be in any situation, but specifically in health. Where am I right now? If you find yourself struggling, where am I right now? Am I above the line? Am I below the line? And then start making that choice of, how can I move above the line? Because it's not if, it's when we find ourselves there. So thanks, you guys. We're so glad that you are a part of this community. We'll see you next week. Until then,
keep growing,
keep gathering, and we'll see you soon.